Regardless of what stage of life we are at, we will always have our own choices and preferences. But as we grow up, it is expected that we become responsible, and which also includes being responsible for our choices and preferences. This is where we step into decision making, and that develops the quality, the trait of decisiveness. Greetings, this is Pink Frock Yellow Boots from Behavior, working towards achieving holistic health for everybody. Today, we'll be talking about decisiveness, a trait that we develop which is going to serve us throughout the life. The brain starts working on decisiveness as soon as we hit puberty or teenage. There may be exceptions based on people's life experiences and cognitive stages they are at. However, decisiveness is one of the traits that impacts every individual prominently. Decisiveness impacts, influence, and is necessary in all areas of our life. However, we see a lot of adults struggling with decision making, reaching to a conclusion, having a final word over what is at hand. And while in some areas decision making may be easier, there are other areas which makes it difficult to decide on how to go about things. Internal and external factors both impact how we decide. The internal factors that influence decisiveness are fear, a factor that is both driven by internal and external factors. Other is your intuition, your instinct about the situation. Then your moral and principle, that is your value system, which are driven by your morals and principle, and your current driving factor over the situation or concept. How you feel and how you think about situations, concepts, people will be a very important driving factors on what you decide on things and situations around them. External factors that influence decision making, the most prominent one are people close to us. How will they receive this decision? Or how will the decision you're going to make impact people close to you? Next is social norms, cultural requirements, and code of conduct, economic and legal constraints, and peer pressure. Peer pressure here is not only about the friend circle, but also anybody and everybody who has a say on your decision making or can comment on your decision making, as it shows their expectations from you, which at some point drives the individual who is making decision to see how they are valued and worth in the society and people around them. Decision making is complex and multidimensional. It is not just one factor or one-sided, as it is not something that ends once you have taken the decision. Decision making or decisiveness is rooted into information, the information you have at hand and the information that you can gather around what you're going to decide on. Adjustment, not just psychological, but general flexibility to fit in what is necessary and let go of what is not serving in that decision. Judgment, the ability to gauge how things may turn out, having probability for possibility. Foresight, the ability to gauge how things may impact, what can be the result, how it is going to influence the future. Precautionary measures you may have to take or you have to take while making that decision. And finally, the responsibility that it comes with. Once you make a decision, your decisiveness also is rooted in how you deal with the results of your decisions. The readiness, the accountability that it brings with it, to be answerable for the results of your choice, which makes decision making hold a part that is ambiguous. First, igniting fear of how things would be, or a past mistake where you couldn't make a right decision and had no idea how to deal with the results may also influence the ability to make decisions in the future. However, an understanding that you learn from what did not turn out well and can improve is important when you learn to keep going. Decisiveness is important in all areas of life, be it your career, your relationships, your personal life. And even though each decision needs its own time, time may be a constraint that influences decision making, as sometimes you will not have to think twice before making a decision. It is out of intuition, out of instinct that you decide on how to go about things. And there would be another times when you will not have enough or ample of information to make a decision. There would be other times when you are stressed or anxious and you make choices in decision, or there are decisions made when you're angry. This is the time when one needs to be more mindful, as when you're anxious, angry, being rash about a decision, that you may make a decision that you regret later. And to develop a more mature decisiveness, it is important that an individual develops self-awareness, learns to have skills that help gathering more information, when and when not to involve other people. Trying from small decisions early on will help making better and bigger decisions as one grows up. Decisiveness is a cognitive skill which involves their memory, their assertiveness, their risk-taking ability, their resilience, and their faith in themselves on carrying forward that decision, and their ability to get through things. Decisiveness, if we see in depth, is not about making the right decision, but about being accountable and responsible for the decision that you make. Someone who is in a bind because of making a decision because they are not sure if they can make the right decision is going to be indecisive, rather than somebody who makes a decision and makes it a point that I'll be responsible till the end for the results of whatever decisions I've made. Developing the trait of decisiveness is a gradual process. The early on an individual starts to hone the skills of decisiveness, the better they get at it. If you have any questions or queries regarding decisiveness, if you want to build your decisive skills, you can reach out to me to work on it. Have a great time ahead. Take care of yourselves.